Hello and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Yug.
I'm Matt.
And tonight we'll be talking about Jack Thompson getting out of here.
Excuse me, I'm sneezing.
Oh, Jesus. Mark that microphone because I don't want to ever use that one.
This is like a foamy thing on it. Also, Silent Hill refused classification.
Wipeout HD is released.
And some new game release dates.
It's nice to be back on the podcast, by the way, Matt.
It's good to have you back.
Is it
can't
really?
back that up. No,
okay,
it's
fair
really
enough.
not. It was very casual last time.
With you and Simon.
Yeah, it was just very sort of chilled, relaxed.
Do you want to know something? I know this probably sounds bad. I started listening to it and then stopped. I couldn't listen all the way through it. But for the record, I don't really enjoy listening through the ones that we do either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe it's just I like Simon. I thought Simon was great.
So, Jack Thompson, do we want to start there?
Yeah, you know what? Forget the Jack rule.
I'm getting a free Jack here.
You're getting a free Jack, because let's be honest, I just don't think he's really going to be around.
Yeah, Jack Thompson has now officially been disbarred from the Florida bar. He's no longer Crazy Miami attorney Jack Thompson. He's now crazy bum on the streets Jack Thompson. He's been disbarred for life, which means he's no longer allowed to practice law at all. He's been forced to give up all his clients.
Does that potentially limit his choices for future career, opportunities? Or
well, I don't know. I would think that once you're a lawyer, because you've got to go to uni for a long time. It's not. What do you do? Just go into IT,
I don't
retail?
know.
I don't know either. And I think his only choice now is professional activist.
Right.
So I actually think you might be wrong. I think we might be seeing more of...
Could he run for Congress or get into government?
Yeah.
Be like, oh, well, in that case...
Yeah. So he could end up in either politics or in some sort of lobbying
position. Because that's just what we want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's... So Jack Thompson was never really a particularly good lawyer anyway. Sure. He was just basically using his status as a lawyer to get him access to a higher level of harassment than what he could do as a private citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which plays out. But anyway... now he's just going to have to use different avenues to be an arsehole.
So let's just be totally clear here. I mean, are there no avenues left for him to appeal? Is there nothing else
the Supreme Court. He can actually appeal the Supreme Court, and he's stated that he's going to do so. He's apparently, I think he won a minor verdict on something in the Supreme Court ages ago, and he's now basically claimed the Supreme Court loves him and they're his friends and they'll help him out.
Right.
So he has... he was basically told that he was...
I didn't realise that having friends in the Supreme Court actually meant that you'll get a favourable ruling. Oh yeah, they're my friends, so, they'll definitely rule in my favour.
He was basically told that he was not allowed to file any further motions as he is no longer a lawyer. And immediately filed a motion to say that he would be filing a motion, kind of thing, to appeal this. So
could he get his friend... a friend who's a lawyer?
He'd need a friend first.
Right, okay.
But yes, he if he wants to do legally stuff in future, he will have to get a lawyer.
I'm sure there's plenty of Christian fundamentalists that are, keen to actually help him out.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think finding another crazy lawyer is probably the least of his problems.
Yeah, I reckon.
But, yeah, if nothing else, Fox News will just say...
Come on as a consultant.
Yeah, they'll just say,
special reporter.
Jack Thompson, gaming advocate, gaming something, or no, they won't get him on staff. I'm just saying that instead of it saying, Miami attorney, it'll just say, Miami activist.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he's an attorney may have given him a little bit more credibility than
slightly.
Just crazy guy.
Yeah.
So
but it is Fox News after all, so...
Yeah, let's move on from Jack Thompson.
You're right, there is nothing else to say. But, I do just want to give you, this opportunity. Is there nothing else you want to say about Jack Thompson? This could be the last time you will ever talk about Jack Thompson.
You know what? No, if he was a rational human being, and I mean this in a totally serious way, I'm not just being flippant and I'm not just being mean.
Sure.
If he was a rational human being, it would not have come to this point in the first place. He is not. He is completely fucking crazy.
Right.
And I don't mean that joking. I mean, there is something wrong with his brain. He has a mental health issue. And he will not stop at this. This will not stop him. He is too crazy to stop.
Okay.
So think of him as a sort of grey-haired crazy Terminator, and that's pretty much what we're looking at here.
Okay. Okay.
He's going to keep going.
You just related Jack Thompson to the Terminator, which I'm kind of impressed with.
He's going to keep walking. He's just going to be,
stumbling along.
All I'm saying is he'll be back. Oh, that was good.
I just have this image of the Terminator with one of those little walking things in front of them. Do you know what I mean? The little.
He's not that old.
No, but if he keeps going, he will be.
Well, eventually, yes. People who are relatively old get quite old. Yes.
Unless you're the Terminator.
Whatever.
Okay. Moving on. Another game has been refused classification.
Silent Hill Homecoming.
Yeah, and another game that is, it's not some obscure title that none of us have heard of. This is a game that was supposed to be coming out for the 360 and the PS3 and the PC, I believe, in November this year.
Yeah.
But the game has been refused here in Australia because of violence, I think.
Yeah, basically high impact violence and gore and that kind of stuff. Now, one thing that I find particularly interesting about this is that if you're looking at high impact, is the survival horror genre.
Yeah.
So as the graphics get better and better, and they get better and better at making these games, that whole genre is going to die. It simply will not be a legal genre in Australia.
Well, what is is there a specific violent acts that was singled out?
No, there weren't specific acts. There was just apparently a high level of impactful violence, decapitations, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Dark Sector had the same sort of issue when it was refused classification. And from what Atari have said, they won't be able to release the game here until around about March next year, when they have a different version of the game that'll be available around about that time.
Yeah, it's one thing to take Fallout 3 and change the names of the morphine, but it's another to remove the violence from a survival horror game.
That's a bit of a tough one. I think Dark Sector may have gotten around that by making some of the blood a different colour.
I think they did. I think they might have removed an attack of some kind as well that was particularly egregious.
But these things, I mean, they're not easy changes. They're not like, if I'm doing a design in Photoshop, can you take that element out? Sure, no worries. Flick.
No.
This is taking stuff out of a game actually changes a lot of different things about it, especially if, they relate to the actual missions or the levels or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, even aside from that, you would have to... It's a core of the gameplay element. It's not like it's just one scene or one thing. It's the whole tone of the gameplay is graphic violence and horror.
I got another one for you. Something I actually read the other day was that there's new stuff that's been passed that basically says that video games are allowed to actually publishers are actually allowed to advertise the video games prior to them actually receiving classification. Previously, that's not been the case. Doesn't that open the potential for these publishers to actually promote a game that might get refused classification and then they're out?
Just cost more money.
Shitloads of money.
Yep.
I mean...
That's exactly what that causes. And that's the sort of thing that's already happening while they haven't been advertising games that have been refused classification. They often have set up advertising ready to go. Yeah. That happened with Dark Sector. They had pre-bought advertising space, and they don't get their money back.
Advertising space. They're even at e-games, actually showing off the game and all that kind of thing, which in retrospect is actually a bit disturbing when you think about it.
So don't think about it.
Okay then. All right. Fantastic. But Silent Hill, that's sucks.
It does suck. There's not that much more to say than this, except that I've been reading a few people on forum posts on Kotaku and Palgen and the Age blog basically saying, here's another one. Oh, well, what are we going to do about it? I'm just sick of hearing about it. Fuck that. Seriously. This is a big issue, and it's not a big issue that's just going to go away, and it's not a big issue we should stay quiet on. And the one thing that I think we will need to do, and I'll chase this up hopefully sometime next week, is that after the questions before the Standing Committee of the Attorneys General, they said that they were going to seek public opinion and public input on what to do about this. Where the hell is that? Why the hell has nothing happened? Why have we not been told how to give our input? Are they just putting us off and trying to make us shut up because we will not shut up?
See, first of all, I actually would have thought if they did put this out to a public opinion, they wouldn't actually invite gamers to give their opinion. They wouldn't actually say, hey, here's how you go and give your opinion. No, they'd take a random selection of the general public.
No, that wasn't what they said.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay.
They said they would invite opinions and they would invite And I mean, if they're going to invite opinions, they're not going to invite opinions from the Fruit Growers Union. You know, they might
have some strong opinions.
They might have some
strong
opinions, you know? And I'm sure there are a lot of fruit growers who are gamers, and they
absolutely
feel free to, but probably not from their position as a member of the Fruit Growers Union.
Yeah.
But regardless, it is gamers who will have a lot to say, and of course, fundamentalist Christians.
There's that. Yep.
So hopefully we can get a good list of them.
Yep.
I'm not going to make any sort of threats.
No.
But you know, hopefully it was implied. No, I mean, people are entitled to their opinion, but their opinion shouldn't, unless it agrees with mine.
Right.
Should be ignored.
Yeah, how's that going for you these days?
Not well.
No, not really. Well, yeah, find out about that. I guess I kind of feel that the reason a lot of the gamers would be disillusioned about this kind of thing is because there really is no solid thing to do. What do? How do you voice your opinion? Well, you can't. There's nothing you can do.
Well, that's exactly the point, and you can't ask the public for their, you know, say that you're going to listen to the public. Say, okay, you know what, this needs to be fixed. What do you think? Tell us later. Sure.
Look, I mean, the flip side of it is I don't disagree with gamers turning around and importing the title. I think that I don't disagree with that at all. Do that, but don't turn around and say, well, I'm just going to give up on any other options or anything like that.
And don't pirate it. Don't say that.
No, don't pirate it. I think that's illegal.
Well, it's illegal for a start. That being said, importing it is illegal as well. If a game is refused classification in Australia, as you know, it is illegal. Yeah. So we are, in fact, condoning illegal activity by saying that.
On the flip side, though, when was the last time a game that was refused classification was actually confiscated by customs? As far as I can tell, the last time that happened was with a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3.
Really?
I think. Yeah, there was a report of it on that classification website. Last time a game that was refused classification was confiscated, Grand Theft Auto 3, back when it was refused classification. I'm really struggling around that particular phrase at the moment. Refused classification. But yeah, like that. I think customs have better things to worry about.
I'm sure if they see, you know, shipment of cocaine, copy of Grand Theft Auto 4,
they're probably going to go after the copy of Grand Theft Auto. You know, I mean, really,
for a start,
that's more destructive to the children, isn't it?
Okay, Grand Theft Auto 4 is not refused classification anyway, so we should probably... I just stuff that up like you.
No more Sunkissed for you.
No more Sunkissed. I'm on the hard stuff today. So that's been refused classification. That sucks, and that won't be the last time we hear about it this year. I reckon there'll be another game refused classification this year.
I think one of the best things that happened with Fallout especially was the fallout from that... was that it got picked up by a lot of mass media that usually wouldn't have actually taken had much attention with just an obscure title. Silent Hill is another one which should actually generate a bit more attention.
The good thing about Fallout 3, though, was that it wasn't for violence. So, because it was drug use, and I think it's kind of hard to defend extreme violence sometimes.
Sure, especially in games.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. You could say, blah, 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 I should have a choice. But then people basically saying, why do you want this violence? Violence is bad. And you kind of go, yeah, but that's not the point.
No, just go the other way. Just go the other way around. No, violence is good. I really like it. What would you rather me do? Would you rather me go and decapitate someone's actual head or do it in the game? I need a game to be able to do this.
You can't actually decapitate someone's head.
Decapitate their head off their body.
That I'll accept that.
You'll accept that? That ding, 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 that's the right answer?
No, I think decapitate their body. Because that's... Decapitating is the removal of a head. Saying decapitate their head off their body is probably redundant.
The removal of the head.
Yeah, kind of. It's a bit clumsy.
All right, thank you, Teacher Matt.
Yeah, Captain Grammar here.
Look, let's move on to some other gamer-related issues here. We've got Wipeout HD, which Matt is very moist about for some reason.
Well, it's not that I've been particularly moist about it. It's mostly that it's been coming for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it's never...
Isn't it available as a download? Is that...
Yeah, it's PlayStation Network only, and it's just come online last night.
Sure, okay.
Or night before. If you look at the website, on the PlayStation Australia website for when it's coming, it says June 2008.
Excellent, right.
Which was a late release for something that was originally supposed to come out like March or something like that.
Has it been out in the States for a while? Or
No, it's actually just come out around the world.
Okay, good.
Now, what makes this title worth talking about is that no one knew why it was delayed. I mean, think about this. This is Wipeout HD. This is not World of Warcraft 2. It's not something that would have been needing that much development. They just needed to upgrade the visuals a bit. I'm not saying it's easy. Wait. I'm saying there's not a whole lot of art to develop. There's not to delay a game like this for more than 6 months is a very strange thing. And there's some rumours circulating about exactly why it was delayed.
Okay, then, yeah.
Now, this could possibly have already been debunked, and probably has.
But I want to hear it anyway. I love rumours.
Apparently, it in fact failed the epilepsy tests. There are a series of tests they run on games to make sure that they don't give people epileptic fits.
Right.
And it failed miserably.
Right.
And they've been trying to basically not make it trigger epilepsy for this whole time.
So,
flashy lights.
Yeah.
The flashy lights and the strobing effects of the movement of it were apparently triggering epilepsy in
people with that prior condition.
People either with the prior condition or people who may not have been aware that they had that prior condition.
Right.
And something about it might be,
Is there a particular electronic device to test this, or do they just put people in a room and see who?
Well, I wondered that. I did wonder the same thing. Is there like a test that it can't, flicker more than this many times?
Yeah.
Or do they just get a room full of epileptics and just giggle as they fall over? Because the image,
I know,
the image is awesome.
I much prefer that one. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Epilepsy is a terrible disease,
Absolutely.
and it can be awful, but there is still an amusing image of people just falling over.
Sure, we're still allowed to derive humour from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are epileptic, and we're sorry for mocking your condition.
And probably don't play Wipeout. Well, actually do. It should be alright now.
It should be alright now, but apparently it actually ships with the mother of all epilepsy warnings on the front. Like it's this huge... like you see it and you're like, whoa, that's a big epilepsy warning, and then you have to scroll through it. It's just huge. I haven't actually downloaded it yet, but I want it for the epilepsy warning.
That's actually a bit of a...
Yeah.
Bit of a worry. But do you know what? I really, really want to play it now.
Yeah, just to see. Good way to test if you've got epilepsy.
Yeah. That could be the test to see if it triggers anything, and if you do fall over and start shaking around, it's
then you have epilepsy.
Then you have epilepsy. Yeah.
The name Wipeout is kind of unfortunate in that
or
respect.
appropriate, really.
Yeah.
Depending on your point of view.
Yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting reason for a game to be, and certainly not one I've ever heard happening.
Certainly keep in mind it's still a rumour at this exact point
and probably
in time.
A thoroughly debunked rumour.
But still, I just for that image alone, it was worth it.
Yeah, a room full of people going bleh.
But I do also just want to say, for you to turn around and go, look, it's Wipeout. How hard can it be to make this game and ship it on time? You can't dismiss a game like that. You can't dismiss a game because it's a racing game and it's not as intricate or as detailed. It wouldn't take as long as another type of game or something like that.
Are you fucking retarded?
No.
You realise Wipeout is a really old game, right?
Yes.
It's a remake of a game with slightly better graphics than it used to have. It's not like they have to redraw the fucking story.
Actually, it might mean they need to completely redo every level and every texture and everything. Like, they need to redo everything.
I'm sure they would. But to a pre-established standard.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not hard to do. I'm not saying that, I could do it if I had,
you're just being I just felt you were being slightly dismissive of the fact that it's easy. What's their excuse? Like, actually,
no.
I don't think you can say that, man.
I'm not. I could understand that would take time. What I couldn't understand is that going so long over time.
How long over time did it actually go? 6 months?
About 6 months.
How long was it in development for?
I don't know.
Right, okay. 6 months is almost actually... I can think of so many games that actually have gone over time in their development by at least 6 months.
Yes, but how many of them were on the fucking PlayStation Network?
Okay, that's actually an exception. It's a game that is...
small.
Yeah, it's small, but it's also...
It's a graphical update to an existing game. I don't think you can compare it to the same standards.
I'm not comparing it to the same standards.
You are!
I'm not! I'm saying that you can't turn around and say that, oh no, this game is really easy to... it shouldn't have been delayed. There's no reason for it not to have been delayed. You don't fucking know that.
No, you're right. I don't know what delayed it. There could have been 1,000 things that delayed it. One of them being epilepsy. But my point is that I wouldn't think with what I do and don't know about the production of the game that something could happen on a technical level that would delay it by that much.
I do, actually. I after visiting a lot of game developers and after,
how many of them were making Wipeout HD?
How many? Stop saying Wipeout HD. Just because it's a remake of that particular old game doesn't mean there's not a lot of other technical issues which could have come into play here.
Of course, and some of them are quite possibly factors. For example, multiplayer online, which is a bitch to implement and may well have delayed production of it. It's far less interesting than the epilepsy thing, but it's also quite possibly a possibility.
Yeah.
But to me, it's always been something, and I'm not the only person who wondered for an awfully long time, where the fuck is Wipeout HD?
Nothing wrong with wondering that. You don't dismiss it by saying, no, that's such a simple, easy, basic game.
No,
there's no reason it shouldn't have been
delayed.
You
are saying that.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying that it's surprising that it took so long with no announcement of what actually was happening.
What did you expect them to say? Hey, they said it's been delayed. What do you want them to say? It's delayed.
It's been delayed because we're working on the multiplayer.
We've had multiplayer code issues and problems, and you don't want to put out a release that says anything negative about a game that you're working on. Why would they? Just say it's been delayed. What more do you need to know?
But they
Why
didn't.
do you need to know anything else?
They didn't.
What did they didn't?
Nothing.
So what? When did they put the release date, or what?
Sony put the release date as being June.
Make up your mind, because if it was June and it's been delayed and just came out now in September, that's not a 6-month delay, dude.
Whatever, dude. Seriously, it was announced a year ago.
Okay, the game was announced a year ago,
and to come out in I honestly cannot be bothered working out the number of months, because seriously, who gives a fuck?
Well, you do, apparently.
No, I'm saying it's been very, very delayed with no announcements. And even when they put up the date of the 24th of July, it was still late. I can look back and fucking go into a time machine and find out exactly when it was announced and how long it should have come out and what announcements were made. But really, that's not the point. The point is, it was quite delayed. I always wondered why. I don't know why you're taking this so seriously.
No, because you were very dismissive before by saying that it's just a remake.
I'm very, very sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
I just, I said a few words, and I really think you took them too seriously. I was certainly not dismissing the difficulty in making a game for a modern platform from an old platform.
Okay.
But when you've got a pre-established game format, when you've got all the story, when you've got all the characters, when you've got all the art already done, and you just need to upgrade the graphic level on them, surely, crazy thought here, surely that's easier than making a game from scratch.
I think maybe it's just the way that you phrase it, just updating the graphics.
That's all they did, and adding online.
You make it sound like that's just the easiest thing in the world.
No, but that's just one thing. It could be, I can say, just building a temple. Yes, it's not easy, but it is just one thing by comparison to, say, building a temple and an island to put the temple on.
All right, we're going around in circles.
This is the most retarded conversation we've had on a podcast.
I think we've done worse.
Whatever.
But, okay, let's move on to the very last topic, which is new game release dates.
Yes, some release dates have actually been announced.
A couple of games that are actually coming out. I think Little Big Planet has been announced for, when was that? You should know that.
24th of October.
24th of October. Rock Band has officially been dated in Australia for, the 7th of November.
And I don't care.
Which is, I think, a week before Guitar Hero World in Conflict?
World Tour.
World Tour. I'm getting confused with Call of Duty World at War. A week before that comes out, Prince of Persia, the new one, is coming out on December the 4th. Which is interesting. I was actually having a talk with a mate of mine last night who was like, oh, what new Xbox games are out right now? I'm really keen to play something. I'm like, oh, that didn't work. Nothing. Nothing. Everything's waiting until the November, December, Christmas period.
Or end of October. Yeah. From the end of October on, it gets all very exciting.
Yeah, there's just nothing really, coming out at the moment that's of much interest. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, no, I haven't seen much either. I actually, this is a little bit off topic, but someone mentioned that there weren't many PSP games coming out. So I had a quick look at Verp, and I clicked on the PSP link at the top. Wow, there really isn't.
Yeah.
There's like NBA 09, something else, like something similar, some other sports game that's coming on every platform, and something marked as December. There's sometime in December.
Yeah, look, I was looking at the Sony
Harry Potter game.
Sony release page. Actually, Sony themselves aren't, because they're going to e-games. They got a lot of stuff that I want to find out what they're actually bringing out. Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
I believe there's a couple of new Buzz titles, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Which is very disappointing. Nintendo are the same on the Wii, to be honest. I mean, they have no announcement of the Wii Motion Plus or any new Nintendo games over the Christmas period, except for a Wario Shaken something.
Wario Shake It or something.
I think it's just Shake It, yeah. And that's about it. And Microsoft have Gears of War 2.
And I think, in fact, Shake It actually comes out mid-next
very, very soon.
Yeah. So by then, it'll be old anyway.
Yeah.
So the only thing they've got is nothing, really.
I just find it fascinating that all these first-party developers, these console manufacturers,
have little.
Nothing at the moment.
That being said, Sony do have Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
Which still gives me giant wood. Well, medium size. Well, small wood.
Yeah. Small wood now that Spore disappointed you so badly.
No. I'm saying that...
Oh, you're bouncing back from that one.
No, I'm just saying that it is as wood as I get, but that's still relatively small. No, I'm really looking forward to it. I keep seeing videos and stuff of people doing interesting new things. There was a video the other day that I couldn't see because it was at work, but someone making like a Tetris-type game was a bit strange, but entertaining.
Amusing no end, although it doesn't sound like a very enjoyable level to play through.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. But I'm looking forward to Little Big Planet, especially now that it's only a month.
Yeah.
Only a month away. So that should be very exciting.
Do you think you're going to get heavily into the level building side of things, or what do you want to do with it exactly?
I think it's going to depend on how much fun the level building thing is. But I actually think I will. I think it's the kind of thing that would be a quite entertaining way to spend some time. And
are you going to build levels and then invite us all around to play them? Hey, come play my levels.
Well, I can send them to people. That's the thing. You can send them to people. You can share them and stuff. I'm going to make things where you have to climb on a giant penis. Which actually... they've already sort of handled by making it so when you make levels like that, you can make them private. And other people can play, but only at your invitation.
And what if you don't? I mean, I guess that's the other thing that concerns me with Little Big Planet is what kind of moderation or, if any, or how do you actually distinguish from the 99% of what will undoubtedly be shithouse levels that people make?
Yeah, that's I think, I've heard a lot of people say, Little Big Planet's going to be awesome, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what about the gameplay? What about this? How will it work with that? But the real question is going to be, how well does it sort out the wheat from the chaff?
Yeah.
If there's awesome levels but you can't find them, that doesn't help.
I think it'd probably be similar to something like, your friends will make a level and they say, hey, come play this. And then the more people that play it, perhaps the more attention that actually gets. And maybe Sony would then pick out these are the best levels of the month or something like that.
I would think you would want some sort of voting thing, whereby you kind of rank things up and they percolate up, and by going up, more people see them, and by more people seeing them, more people play them.
Dig, basically, sort of.
Dig, Dig is a good example of that sort of structure. So,
cool.
If that does work, and if that is the case, then it could be that very good levels can be made and very good levels can be shared.
Or even just shared among your friends. How many friends do you have on your PlayStation 3?
I actually have quite a few.
Okay. Cool.
Ask me how many of them I've played a game with.
How many of them have you played a game with?
None. Ask me how many I've talked to.
How many have you talked to?
About 3.
Where are they? Just all from the Australian Gamer?
Yeah, mostly people from Australian Gamer.
Yeah.
Every now and then I get a message from Nomet, who's one of the few I've actually talked to a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, I see you're playing blah blah blah. What do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right." And that's it. That's the whole conversation.
I get very surprised messages on Xbox quite often saying, "Oh, you're playing a game." I'm like, "Yes, I am. Stop acting so surprised."
Hey, Mercs 2. Do you know when that's coming out?
Or
is it out?
It's already out.
Is it already out?
Yeah.
I just downloaded the demo on PlayStation Network last
I'm actually
night.
halfway through downloading it on the 360.
It's really quite fun. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Okay.
I think I don't know what I'm doing though, because I'm just shooting at people and sometimes they blow up.
Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I just
from my memory of the first Mercs game. So
from playing the demo, you've got an objective that you've got to achieve, and it seems to me impossible judging by my current technique of dying a lot.
Right. It's an interesting strategy you're adopting.
Yeah, well,
there.
it is a strategic choice, but I think a valid one.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I've been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
I'm downloading that in Fracture, the demo for Fracture at the moment as well.
Don't bother.
Really?
Yeah, it's a gimmick.
Hold on, have you played it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, no, I downloaded the demo on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
It's it's some interesting technology and it's some interesting ideas. I actually think the destructible walls and stuff and buildings are far more interesting than the deformable terrain.
Well, you see, to me, that Red Faction, the new Red Faction, kind of got that sold for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I didn't know this one had destructible or walls and stuff like that, though.
Yeah, well, I think so. Maybe it's only limited ones.
One of the big criticisms that I've read so far of a couple of previews that I've read, they say that not everything is deformable, which is very distracting.
Yeah, well, it's only dirt.
Yeah.
You can affect dirt.
Right.
Rocks ignore you, but dirt. And it feels really gimmicky, like, oh, there's a gun. You've got a gun that can move up and down the terrain. Oh, we're going to set up a series of obstacles that you can coincidentally use these to get through. It feels really forced.
Do you know what I saw the other day? It was a game that isn't out. It's not even finished development. And don't ask me where or how I saw it. It's an RTS strategy kind of command and conquer type game. But they had this particular technology, and it was very much a land-based units, versus a water-based race sort of thing. And the water-based race, they thrive in the water areas of the level. But there's machines you can use to raise or lower the terrain, right? And so what you can do is you can actually, if there's like a lake on this side, you can lower a bit of the terrain, and the water actually flows out or in, or you actually control the water around the level, which I just found a really, really cool mechanic.
Couldn't you just drown their soldiers?
Yes.
Sweet.
This is the thing. See, if you're going to invade, you have to kind of get rid of the water first, or it's a tactical advantage.
Yeah.
Depending on how much water is there and who has the water and what units you're using and all. I just found that really interesting.
This is interesting.
There's other units that you can make if you're the land type units where it actually creates like this field of this sort of wind field which pushes the water out in a radius around that unit.
Right.
So you can actually go with that unit with a bunch of your units to go and attack the water-based creatures, and then if they kill that, you can with your other one raise a bit of the terrain to cut off that water and or drown it out through a thing. And it was like, that's cool. Yeah. It seemed really cool. That and you could do it anywhere on anything, absolutely any part of the level whatsoever, and that makes sense to me. But to actually say, no, this, you can't deform that. But you can deform this, but not that. But this, but not that.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
Well, you haven't played it. Play the demo and see what you think.
I will. I'm really keen.
I found it entertaining but gimmicky.
Okay. You've just defined pretty much half the games that come out these days.
I think that when cool technology comes out, it's like, this can be destroyed, that can be destroyed, physics, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
It only becomes good when it becomes less important. When it's just an accepted, acknowledged thing that's just how stuff works, then it's more fun. When physics happens
when
because...
when it's a part of the game, not a sell point.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that similar kinds of, terrain deformation and destruction of buildings and stuff like that becomes a standard and established thing that it would be silly not to have. That's when I think you can see fun from it. But
okay.
I'd like to have seen deformable terrain that was deformed by something that wasn't a gun that worked exactly like Populous. Because that's pretty much all it does. You pull ground up, push ground down. It's exactly the same as Populous, but without polygons.
And in a third
person view, it's got polygons. But, well, you had a third-person viewing. Did you? Oh, well, you can't see...
Not really.
Yeah, but you couldn't see yourself. That's the only difference. But yeah, so hopefully it will not suck as much as I think it did. We will find out. But I think we're going to wrap it up today. I'm sorry. I kind of feel like I've been a bit of a bastard this podcast. I should put a slight disclaimer on this. I'm horribly, terribly hungover right now, and we were supposed to do the podcast on Friday night. Yeah. And I had a bunch of missed calls from Matt, which I saw, and I think I sent back a very, very eloquent message to let you know that I was not in a position to be ready to do the podcast that particular time. I believe it was Pockdast later, dunk now. was what you said.
Okay.
It was something along those lines.
Yes, which translated was podcast later, drunk now.
It would, by the way, have been helpful to send me that message 4 hours later so I could have made other plans instead of sitting around waiting for you. But zany thought,
Well, that thought surprisingly didn't actually cross my mind.
Right.
So at that particular point in time. I do apologise for that. But yeah. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Yes, we're going to have to go now, and we shall talk to you people soon.
We sure will, because we love it so much.
We'll try to find out about that stuff we were going to try to find out about. I'll try to find out about the where you can contact or how or what's happening with the R rating. And hopefully talk to people on the podcast or on the site later.
Cool. All right, cheers. See you.
Bye, kitties.